Tyler Ramos. Tyler Ramos. Tyler Ramos.
Oh, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll, hey. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah. On a roll, here we go, here we go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Frankie Candles live stream every single weekday right here at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right after ATB. Shout out to my boy DZ. Shout out to my ATB crew. Sorry, got something in my throat there, guys. What is going on? Thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate every single one of you guys for tuning in tonight and spending some of your precious time here with the Candle Mafia. There's a lot of places you guys can be, a lot of things you could be spending your time on, but you chose to do 2 hours of some TA with your boy Frankie Candles, along with the best YouTube community on earth, the Candle Mafia. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate every single one of you guys for being here. Shout out to Ray Borham. Thank you for that super chat. Said, Frank, what do you think we will hit on XRP price once the lawsuit finishes? BitBoy said $1.50 to $2. I'm hoping for $5. What do the charts say? Currently, I have 50,000 coins. I want to get 100K before next year. Well, shout out to Ray. We'll have to take a look at XRP so I can give you my price prediction. And yeah, we'll get to that in a second here. But Ray, thank you for that super chat. I really do appreciate you, my man. But yeah, we'll get to the alts at the end of the show. Real quick, before we jump into it, guys, before we get started, just so you guys know, I will be hopping off just a little bit early tonight, but I will be hopping on a Twitter space with Garrett Soloway, or I'm hopping on Garrett Soloway's Twitter space with, I think Tom Crown's going to be there. There's going to be a bunch of other really good speakers, so I'm really excited for that, but we do have to, I have to get ready for that and hop on at like 7 p.m. sharp. So we're going to have to wrap it up pretty quick here, but we're going to be covering Bitcoin, guys, obviously. Whew. Oh, baby. We are getting to move to the upside, guys, and Bitcoin just has absolutely no chill. Is this a sucker's rally? Are we getting to 32K, 33K, maybe 35K? What's going on? Are we going to get a dump? Are we getting a bigger pump? Is this a fake out? Is it sustainable? I'm going to be covering all this on tonight's I'm going to be covering this all on tonight's show. We're going to be taking a look at Bitcoin. I'm going to show you the key levels, next price targets to the upside, key levels of support we got to hold to the downside. And if you guys tuned into last night's live stream or you saw my market update earlier, we're going to be talking about some of that stuff as we were flipping that key level to support that was potentially opening the door to about 29K. And we're not at 29K yet, guys, but we could be on our way. And it all has to do with the volume profiles. Whether it's a sucker's rally or not, we were able to see this move incoming in the charts before it happened on the live stream and in that market update this morning. And I do, hey, shout out to Crypto Infinity. I do just want to say something. Tony D did just go ahead and drop that link to the Twitter space. I'm actually really excited about that, guys. It's only going to be my second Twitter space ever. Love doing it with good people like Garrett Soloway, Tom Crown. We had a bunch of other good people on last time. Had a good time. I don't do them very often, but it's super fun, and it's great to hear other people's kind of viewpoint on the markets, right? It's easy to get stuck in an echo chamber, especially when you do TA every single day. It's easy to keep looking at the levels you're watching and looking at the patterns you're watching. And so I just like to hear other people's point of view. So Tony D just did drop that link if you guys want to hop over there with me at the end of the show. But, guys, We got a lot to talk about on Bitcoin, so real quick, let's go ahead and say what's up to the Candle Mafia, and then let's go ahead and jump on into the charts. Who do we got in here today? Shout out to Crypto Infinity. Said, give me the sauce, boss. Shout out to Crypto Infinity. We're about to give you that sauce. Let's go. Shout out to you, man. Thank you for being here. Mario. We got Mario Bertoni in the chat. What's up, Bertoni? What's going on, Mario? Thank you for that $2 super chat. He just wanted to throw a tip in the bucket before we got started. Maybe he's going to ask for an altcoin or something, but I don't know. Shout out to Mario. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for being here, and thank you for that super chat. And Ray, thank you for that super chat as well. We will take a look at XRP, and I will try to answer your question, but please understand that a price prediction like that is very speculative. So don't, take it with a grain of salt, right? Just because I call for a price doesn't mean it's going to happen. So just be aware of that. But I will go ahead and give you my outlook. Shout out to Unique all the way. Said, dump it like a truck. Let's check in on our poll here, guys. It's a lot closer than I thought. Usually when we get a pump like this, it's usually like 99%, say 33, pump continues. But 43% of you guys say it's a suckers rally, and then 57% say 33K incoming. And you guys are going to get my full breakdown and my full opinion on where I think we're going in just a second. Shout out to Creighton C. Shout out to Creighton C. Thank you for being here. He says, okay, Wick. Shouting out Wick. Shout out to Wick 589 Classic. Wick 589 Classic. You in here, bro? Oh no. It's Wick. I'm gonna have to Wick. I don't know, Wick. Are you going to make me say a bad word on YouTube? I'm afraid to read that out loud. I'm afraid to enunciate this. I'm going to trust you, Wick. I'm going to trust you. I'm going to say this out loud. I'm going to trust you. Wick, I can never tell if that's an I or an L. Wick 589. 589. Wick 589. Shout out to Wick 589. Not classic, but he's just doing the little slang Wick 589. Let's go. A little tree fitty, if you will. Shout out to Wick 589. Thank you for being here, bro. He says, TC is very interested in cross-platform interactions, Twitter too. Shout out to Wick 589. Shout out to Jonah Plainclothes throwing in those candle emojis. Shout out to you, man. Connor Anderson in the chat said, I made 180 with my long. Let's go. Shout out to Connor Anderson. Bing bong. I'm only going to throw $1. This dollar has blood stains on it. Whew. That's that dirty money. Anyway, guys, let's just move right past that. Shout out to Jonathan Schaefer. What is going on? He said, do you know where we can trade BTC pairs? Yeah, well, we can go ahead and just dive into the exchanges in just a second, Jonathan. Shout out to Jonathan Schaefer. Thank you for being here, bro. I appreciate you. Sawtooth Hiker says, Frankie, what is going on, man? We got Darren Does Things. Open interest. OI Bearish, I think is what it's supposed to say. Will never give up on his 12K. I think it's a type. I think he said Gareth. But yeah, I guess I'll let you know, Gareth. Gareth. I just called Darren Gareth. Shout out to Darren. But yeah, I'll let you know. We'll be on that Twitter Spaces. Hop on, and you will definitely get his viewpoint. I actually don't know if he's still calling for 12K, to be 100% honest with you. We'll have to find out next time he comes on the show. Shout out to Ray. What is going on? Shout out to Peter. Peter John, what is going on, man? He wants to see Bitcoin dominance, it looks like. Shout out to Bow S&W. Said, yo, you told me yesterday, pump incoming. Hey, shout out to Bow. Listen. We don't have a crystal ball, so I don't want anyone trying to, come after me looking for my crystal ball. We definitely don't have one, I swear. Anyway, shout out to you, man. Yeah, I'm going to talk to you guys about how we were able to call, I don't want to say that, we were calling for this pump. I hate that, the whole mindset of, we called it. I hate it. I absolutely despise it. It's like a pet peeve of mine. Who cares if you called it? It doesn't matter. You could have been wrong. You were just right this time, right? And that's how I view myself as well. But anyway, we did call for it, but I don't like to say that. I'm going to show you guys exactly why I was anticipating this move to the upside. Not like we were just blindly calling for, 28K to income, but we also looked at the bearish case too, and we were taking that into account as well, because we could have easily come down. But because of some very specific things, we were putting the probabilities we were putting the probabilities on the side of the move to the upside. I'm going to explain to you guys how we were able to do that if you missed any of the live streams yesterday or the day before. And we're going to go ahead and cover that all for you guys right now. Shout out to Nanato Cabrera and Dave Digital. What is going on, bro? We got Elite Ways. Elite Way EZ in the chat. ICP me, Frankie. Shout out to Elite Ways. We can take a look at ICP, no problem. Dave Digital said, I called for pizza. Well, hopefully it's there. Hopefully the delivery guy shows up. Shout out to Dave Digital. But let's go ahead and without further ado, guys, let me go ahead and change my let me just change my aspect ratio real quick so I can break down what the heck Bitcoin is going to do next. I want to take a look at those top price targets that I am watching and kind of the likelihood of a continuation to the upside. And without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the charts. All right, here. Oh, okay. All right, we're back, guys. What is going on? I don't know what the heck that was. All right, now let's go ahead and jump into the charts for the second time. I did go to the gym yesterday, guys. I did go to the gym. I made a joke. I actually like going to the gym, guys. I don't really have to get dragged to the gym. But it was my first time back in a while, and it is really hard to get back into it. I will say, it's like once you get there, it's fine. But like those first day or two back is kind of rough. I'm not gonna lie. But I actually do like going to the gym. It's actually really nice. But anyway, here we go, guys. Let's go ahead and continue on and see what we got going on Bitcoin. So let's go. Oh, baby, look at her go. Look at her go. Let's go ahead and zoom out to the weekly time frame. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Guys, it's happening. It's happening. That should have been the thumbnail today. It's happening. Green dot now printing on the weekly time frame. On our regular candles, not quite there on the Heikinashis just yet, but definitely a good yeah, there we go. Shout out to Bitcoin and Bing Bong. Shout out to Bitcoin and Bing Bong. Weekly green dot on BTC. Let's go. But guys, here, shout out to Dave Digital. Watch tape. Go to the gym. Be a man. You guys know that guy? Be a man. He says like hilarious stuff, and then he says be a man. He says like, I don't know. He's like, yell at little kids. Be a man. I don't know. He's funny. Anyway, taking a look here, guys. On the regular candles, we got that weekly green dot on Bitcoin that we were talking about yesterday. And I'm not going to lie, guys. I'm not going to lie. We were expecting this to come. I did not think it was going to come this quick. I thought we would at least have to wait till Sunday or maybe an extra week to get that green dot. But Bitcoin right now has absolutely zero chill. It is just ripping. And then it wants to try to come. Nope. Another move to the upside. And it's going to come down a little bit. Nope. Another move to the upside. Just absolutely no chill whatsoever. We got the weekly green dot, and yeah, like I said, we were looking at this yesterday, but I was not expecting it to come out this quick. But this is a very good sign, guys, because remember what we talked about yesterday? I should have clipped it. But we were comparing it. We were comparing kind of where we are right now to this kind of area right here where we broke through previous resistance and then tested that level as support. We did lose it a little bit, but we wound up holding it after all, and then we got that next green dot on the weekly, and that is where we got our next big move to the upside. And then we are in a very similar situation here. I'm going to have to, yeah, we're on the Bitstamp chart. Let me pull up that 200-week moving average real quick because this is kind of what we were looking at, guys. 200-week moving average. Let me go into the settings here. 200. Bada boom, bada bing. There you go, right? Like this was kind of what we were thinking. We kind of came down, lost it a little bit, almost rejected, and now we are fighting to get back above it, but we print that green dot. Could that be where we get that next leg to the upside? We got it here. Flip resistance to support. Next leg to the upside on that weekly green dot. Come up. Test the previous resistance as support, right? Rejection, right? Like, look how similar this is. This is what we were looking at yesterday. Rejection, right? Flip that previous resistance to support right here. Boom. Green dot prints. Next leg to the upside. We break through resistance, which is your 200-week moving average. Work your way to the downside. Test it as support. Green dot. Next leg to the upside. Question mark. Potentially, guys. Potentially. This is, yeah, this is, again, I did not think this was going to happen so fast, but we were looking at this yesterday, and we are starting to see it play out. Now, this is not confirmed, guys. We do have 5 days, 5 whole days to potentially get some bearish price action, push price back down, and then unprint that green dot. So just be careful. I wouldn't be making any, like there's a possibility that this could unprint, right? This is just flashing at this point. This could disappear. It is not confirmed just yet. However, definitely a very, very good sign, and our money flow starting to curve back up as well, guys. This is exactly what we wanted to see for more upside for Bitcoin at least, right? Now, I wouldn't mind lower prices, but if you were looking for higher prices on Bitcoin, guys, this was what we wanted to see. Remember we were looking at the 6-day as well. Oh my God, it looks so good, guys. It's happening just like we wanted it to. Look at this. Guys, The 6-day. We were looking at this yesterday. Look at this money flow just creep into the upside, fake out into the green. And then yesterday, I believe we were just starting to crack into the green. And we were talking more specifically about how if we did print that green dot with that money flow crossover, number one, when you get that green dot around the same time as you get the money flow crossover, sometimes that can give you a really powerful move. But also here, guys, you have massive anchor waves with a tiny little trigger wave. And what happens when you have, I don't want to say the word here, but you got a handle, and then, maybe you got something that looks like this, and then your little trigger wave comes out like that, and then maybe something else looks like this, and then sometimes there's like a little thing like that on these things, right? And then what happens when you touch this thing? Boom! Right to the upside, right? That is what, that's kind of how I think of trigger waves, right? You kind of think of that anchor as a handle, and then your trigger right here, and then boom, when you print that green dot, guys, this is bullish. Everybody was telling me in the office, they're like, wow, the weekly looks good. I'm like, yeah, but the 6-day? I'm like the weird trader. I'm like, yeah, I know the weekly looks good, but have you checked the 6.5 day? But for real, this 6-day looks beautiful, right? Not just the money flow cruising to the upside, which would indicate that an uptrend is likely to continue, but you have that nice little trigger wave which can add fuel to the fire, giving us another big move to the upside. So this is looking good, guys. We got the money flow crossover. We got the trigger wave. We got the green dot. We got the green dot on the weekly. It is looking saucy out there, guys. Super, super exciting for Bitcoin. Now, this does not mean that we're going to 100K right now, guys. Just to be clear. First of all of it, right? Money flow, right? This was the 5-day, was one of the time frames where money flow was not looking good. But remember, we talked about how we spent a lot of time in the red, and we kind of didn't really spend a lot of time in the green here. So this might just be a little bit of a fake out, and then we might come back up into a bigger green wave, right? But here's the thing: none of this stuff is confirmed right now, right? We are getting a nice pump today. We are printing the green dots, but on the 5-day, we still have 4 days and 2 hours to confirm that green dot. The 6-day has 3 days and 2 hours to confirm that dot. The weekly, 5 days and 2 hours to confirm that green dot. So this is, these are printing. It doesn't mean that it's up only from here. I want to be very clear. I think that's what a lot of people think. Shout out to Dave Digital, said 100K right now. Got it, 200X. Shout out to Dave Digital. Let's see. Have you seen the 37-hour? Shout out to Connor Anderson, the secret time frame. Jessica, our female CandleMafia representative, just entered the chat. I'm just kidding. I don't know if she just entered, but I just saw her. Shout out to Jessica. What is going on, Jessica? I miss you. I miss you. We got to hang out in Miami. Let's see. Worst day of my life. Someone please make me laugh. Dave Digital, I need you. Help me not cry. Jessica, please do not cry. There's no crying allowed on the Frankie Candles live stream. Bitcoin is pumping. And Jessica, I'm not as funny as Dave. But Dave, I know we always tell you to call the police on people who are acting up in chat, but please make Jessica laugh. We can't have Jessica be crying in here. Jessica, what's wrong? You don't have to share your personal information, but Jessica, we're here for you. Frankie Candles loves you. The Candle Mafia is here for you, Jessica. Do not cry. I don't know what happened, but don't cry. Whatever it is you're going through will pass. This shall pass. This too shall pass, I think is the saying. But yeah, shout out to Jessica, for real. I'm sorry to hear that you're having a bad day. Hopefully you feel better. And Dave, Crane Seat said, Dave, get to work. Come on, Dave. Save the day. Dixon, help out Dave. Team up. Creighton, team up with Dave. Let's go. Shout out to Chemistry Bro. Said, I'm loving this market structure. That retest of the early bear market high is the chef's kiss for now. Shout out to Chemistry Bro. I would agree, bro. But, guys, this is looking pretty good, but we have to wait. We have to realize that these are not confirmed just yet. We want to see this stuff start to confirm, but doesn't mean that it's not a positive thing, right? It's better to see this print than not see it print, right? So this is definitely bullish, and it kind of maintains what we've been looking for all throughout last week, or through most of last week and all of this week. And we're going to take a look at those key levels in just a second, but kind of coming down to some of these lower daily time frames. Your 3-day green dot is also printing. Money flow coming back up. And our 2-day green dot is confirmed. Money flow, though, is really what I'm focused on the 2-day, because this is what was making us remain bearish during this move to the downside, was helping us make money on these shorts, letting us know that, hey, you're in the red here, man. It's probably going to continue down. You're safe for those shorts. But now, you guys will know, more recently, we've been saying, hey, money flow on the medium time frame started to cruise to the upside. Obviously, the 4-hour has come massively into the green here. But we were looking at it starting to cross over here, saying, hey, or we actually not even, we were looking at it starting to curve up in the red before we crossed over into the green, saying, hey, this might be the time that we are going to start shifting our trend because money flow is starting to come up on the 4-hour, and if it starts to come up on the 4-hour, that is likely going to leak into these higher time frames. And that is exactly what we're starting to see, guys. Taking a look at our 5-hour money flow has crossed over into the green. 6-hour crossing over into the green. I do not know what you guys are laughing at. Oh, God. Maybe, oh boy, what did Dave Digital say? Yo, shout out to Dave. Dave, I don't know what you're talking about. Ben never said LWC. I don't know what you're talking about. I've never heard that before. I don't know what that means. Yeah, shout out to Jessica. Oh, God. Dave was the right man for the job, that's for sure. I'm not going to look into what he's saying, but shout out to Dave. You're the man. But anyway, money flow crossing over on the 6-hour, right? So we saw this rolling up in the up on the 4-hour, leaked into the 5-hour, leaked into the 6-hour, and now we're starting to see a lot of this money flow really start to come up. 8-hour cruising to the upside, 10-hour cruising to the upside, 12-hour. Look at the 12-hour money flow coming back to the upside. 16-hour telling a similar story. If the computer wants to load, hello. All right, guys, show's over. TradingView quit. Chat is laughing too hard. This is pretty bad. What is going on here? All right. Okay, that was weird. Anyway, 16-hour. Wow, guys, the computer does not like the 16-hour. Very interesting. Bear with me, guys. I don't know what the heck is going on right now. Am I getting punked? Am I getting punked right now? What is going on? Okay, I can't click the 16-hour. 12-hour? 12-hour money flow coming up. I'm going to try it. 16-hour. Okay, 16-hour money flow telling the same story here with the money flow coming up. And the daily money flow finally aggressively coming up, clearly coming back to the upside. This is a good sign, guys. This is telling us, right? This is why we started to look for longs down here. Because once you see that money flow on the 4-hour start to creep up, even if it's in the red, like it was here, it started creeping up. That was letting us know, hey, money is starting to come back into the asset. Maybe start looking for some longs. And then if we cross into the green, that's where you're going to want to start looking to long the higher lows. So you would look to long this higher low, potentially this higher low. And every time you cool off, you're definitely going to be a little bit safer longing the higher lows rather than shorting lower highs, right? Because if you get a lower high, it's likely going to be a short-term downtrend in a retracement before another leg up. So that was kind of what was helping us kind of shift our sentiment here because we were definitely leaning bearish all throughout this because of the way money flow looks. And because of the signals we were looking at down here, we were anticipating the money flow crossover to continue this trend to the upside. And guys, it worked out perfectly. And I'm not saying that we called it perfectly, but it is doing exactly what we wanted it to do based off of what the indicators were telling us. I guess it's what we were looking for to happen. But it's not just because we guessed. Right? It was based off of information on the charts, on the indicators, based off actual information, not just because, I don't feel like it's really going to go below 25 again. I always say this. I feel like a lot of people are just like, I think we go back down to 24K and then it bounces and then we go to 40K. And then okay, what makes you think that? And I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'll just be like, what makes you think that? And I feel like a lot of people are just like, I don't know. I just feel like it'll go down to, it has to get some, I don't know. It's just like, it's overbought. Like, I don't know. But this is based off actual information on the charts that we look at every single day. And the most important thing we were looking at, guys, was right here. Right here. And if you learn anything or take anything away from this live stream, guys, please, for the love of God, take this away. Right here. We came out of our value area. Came out of the value area, bearishly retested, dumped. As we approached back up, this is your key level of resistance. If you could get back above that previous macro value area low and hold support above that level, you are expecting a move up to your POC and then eventually up to your value area high. If you watched the live stream yesterday or the day before, or last week, I want to say like the second half of last week was when we started to look at this. When was it? Down here, like when we start, right after we dumped. Yeah, like Thursday, last Thursday, right? This is where we were looking for the trend to change. And once we started that pump, what we wanted to see was a move above that value area low, hold it as support to get that move up to the POC, and then eventually the value area high, which we have not hit yet, but it is coming in, at least on the FEMAX chart, it is coming in at about $28,700, and we are well on our way to see that value area high. And we were able to call this or predict this. Us, not me alone, us together on this live stream. We were able to predict this potentially happening by just using the volume profile. We know once you hold support on the value area low, you're likely to get accepted back into your area of balance, which is this range here between the value area low and the value area high. Once you get accepted back in, you're likely to come up to the POC and a move back to the upside of the upper end of the range, again, coming in at $28,700, roughly, right? And we're seeing that happen right now. Now, yesterday, guys, and this morning, we were tapping this very key level of resistance, and this was a very nice confluent, I don't know if that's how you use the word, confluent area of resistance, guys, because not only did we have the golden pocket, we also had the point of control of the range, and we also had the downward trending resistance line of our falling wedge. And this is what we were looking at on my market update this morning. If you guys caught that, this is what we were looking at, saying, hey, we got a lot of resistance here. We may get some kind of a rejection here. However, if we do get a rejection, I would expect it to be on the way up, I always say a lackluster move to put in a lower high and then move back to the downside. But here is the exact opposite. I would expect this to be a lackluster dump or a lackluster pullback before putting in a higher low and continuing to the upside. And what do we get? Right? To be honest, I expected a little bit more of a pullback here. I'm kind of upset with like the short that we got off this. We did get it, right? If we come down to a lower time frame, we did get it, right? We rejected here. When was this? Was this even, this was on Monday. We rejected here, right? We were obviously hitting our head on this level. And then I believe this was earlier today. Yeah, this was earlier today. We did get that push back to the downside. Nice. I mean, it was more of like a very, very small scalp of about 1.5% or 1.15%. Definitely a profitable move if you're using leverage or you have a really big bag to trade with. But I was kind of wanted this to go a little bit lower. But where did we go? Right? I just want to show you guys how we were able to do this, because I did put a short setup in the premium Discord to short at this level, but it was a little bit of a tricky trade because it was hard to enter. There was no real clear signal on TradingView. You had to be looking at something like Exo charts to see that the dump was coming. However, if you go ahead and pull this range, you can see, if you pull it, I don't remember exactly where we had it pulled from, but basically we were approaching, not only were we in our purple area of macro resistance, right, all this confluence, but we were also at a value area high, looking for a rejection at the value area high. I missed the entry here, but we waited for a pullback up to test some local golden pockets, and we actually wound up getting pushed a little bit further up, and then we did get a move down. I didn't expect this to, not that I didn't expect it. I expected this to come down a little bit deeper. But what happened? If you're looking at the volume profile here, you could have seen, right? Now, I will say this. It wasn't the best setup for a long, but, you were looking to short here. For me, I would have been looking to at least take partial profits at the value area low and then potentially hold a little bit for a bigger move to the downside. But what happened here, essentially, how you could have seen this coming. Now, again, this was actually a little tricky as well. This wasn't the cleanest setup. We came out, deviated away from our range, and we put in lower lows on our price action, just like this, with higher lows on our momentum waves on the 15-minute. However, we didn't really have the confirmation of money flow, because at the time, money flow was actually coming to the downside. So I did not take that actual long position from here. We took long positions lower, but I wasn't really looking to trade this. But if I was, I will be honest with you, this wouldn't have really been a confirmable trade for me, right? Because if you go back in time here, you can see, right? You print that bullish divergence, but money flow was really coming to the downside. So I would have actually expected that to break a little bit lower. And if you come on over to the 4-hour, you actually were printing, well, this was a little earlier, you were printing a red dot on the 4-hour, which would have been more confluence for a move to the downside with money flow in the 15-minute coming down and that 4-hour red dot. But again, Bitcoin just absolutely no chill. Pulled the VWAP flip and absolutely ripped back to the upside. So you did have a bullish divergence as you were deviating out of your key level of support, which would be a long setup for the most part. However, money flow wouldn't have been in agreement there, so I probably wouldn't have taken that trade, to be honest with you. But it just goes to show, guys, this plays out. If you watch this stream, you'll see James, yes, we can do the 1 minute, bro. I'll do the 1 minute for you, no problem. But if you guys watch the stream, you'll see how often these wind up playing out, especially when you're looking at the volume profile. You get a bullish divergence, especially with money flow coming up. These play out a lot. But you didn't have your confluence here, and this just goes to show that not all TA is bulletproof, right? Like, your TA might not be looking great for a long, and you might be like, I think we're going to continue to the downside, right? Just like I thought this move was probably going to continue down because of the way money flow looked like on the 15-minute. But what happened, right? Like, it just absolutely mooned, guys. Absolutely mooned. And has absolutely no chill. It looks like it wants to go to $1 bazillion, right? So I just want to point that out because I know we do talk a lot about how reliable the volume profiles are, and they are. Every other time we cover them, for the most part, they're very accurate, but not 100%, right? Now, again, this would be a long setup, but money flow wasn't agreeing. But that's why you don't front run. Because for this, you would have liked to see the confirmation of the money flow crossing over into the red, but you didn't get it, right? That's why you don't want to front run signals. You want to wait for the signal to happen and then confirm before making any decisions. You can front run stuff, but just understand it's a little bit more risky, right? So if you were looking to enter this trade on the 15-minute money flow crossover into the red, and you front ran that, you would have gotten absolutely wrecked, right? That's why you want to wait for it to actually happen and confirm. But absolute moonshot, guys. Absolute moonshot. But let's go over kind of what and the exciting thing here, guys, is that we are breaking out of this falling wedge, which is a bullish reversal pattern. So, just another thing we kind of had on our side here to get a move up to the value area high. So speaking of our next higher target here, guys, just looking at the volume profile, getting rid of the falling wedge, getting rid of the 200-week moving average or 200-period moving average. We're on the 6-hour here, so it's not the 200-week. But take a look here. Next logical place for price to go right now, based off the volume profile, is going to be the value area high, which is what... Oh, shout out to Hannah King. Hold up. Whoa, hang on. Yo, shout out to Hannah King for gifting 11 Frankie Candles memberships. You get a membership. You get a membership. Hannah, do you have a membership? Shout out to Hannah. She gives away the memberships. I hope she has one. Shout out to Hannah King. Thank you for gifting all those memberships. Hannah's always gifting the membership. Shout out to the other TJ. You got gifted. You got gifted, bro. Let's get it. Shout out to you, Lost Profit in the chat. Hannah King, you are crazy. Always gifting the memberships. Shout out to Hannah, one of our biggest supporters. Always dropping memberships on the Candle Mafia. Not just a Frankie Candle supporter, but a Candle Mafia supporter. Shout out to the other TJ, giving some love to Hannah. Let's go. Shout out to Hannah. Thank you so much, Hannah. Hannah's a boss. Let's go. Shout out to Hannah. Hannah is a true queen. Yeah, shout out to Andy. Absolutely. I'll send as many kitty pictures as you need. You know I love bold cats. Bold or bald? Have you guys ever seen the naked cats? Those things are freaky. But they are kind of awesome. Hannah's a boss. Yeah, let's go. Show Hannah some love in chat. Let's go. Hannah, you're awesome. Shout out to Hannah. You really do. You're like a huge supporter. We appreciate you for real. But, guys, next logical place for Bitcoin for me, right? At this point, oh, shout out to Rob. Said you have to be a member before you gift them. I did not know that. Shout out to Rob. Thank you. Oh my God, Hannah with another 5 memberships. Let's go. Shout out to Hannah King, absolute legend. Shout out to Miguel. Shout out to Iffy High. I don't know how to say that. Shout out to Unique All the Way. Shout out to Zeus Cash. Y'all members now. Let's get it. Welcome to the Mafia. Let's go. Shout out to Hannah. Oh my God, Hannah's going nuts in the chat. Let's go. Shout out to the 906 people in here, guys. Don't forget to smash that like button. Every 100 likes we get, you guys get a spin on the wheel of pain and pleasure, where we do tons of giveaways. Every 100 likes equals a spin on the wheel. Every wheel spin essentially gives you a giveaway. So almost. We got really unlucky yesterday, but it basically gives you a giveaway every single spin. So run up that like button, guys, if you want Bitcoin to keep pumping. But where are the next targets, guys? Obviously, just looking at the volume profile, if we were to absolutely delete everything off the chart and just come on over here and look at our volume profile, I'll go ahead and pull it. Go ahead and pull it roughly. Bada boom. What would we be expecting here? We would expect, once you get above that value area low, flip it to support. You would expect to come to the POC and then eventually the value area high. Now, this is the Bitstamp chart. This is the Bitstamp chart, right? So these levels are like the POC is slightly different, right? POC is down here on the other exchange, but it still holds true, and the value area high is at 28,888. So levels are slightly different, but basically remains the same. You get above the value area low, hold it as support. You're looking to get a move to the POC. The other POC was right here where we kind of got that rejection. And this current POC is where we are finding a little bit of turbulence right now. But eventually we're expecting to flip this level and come up to the value area high again, coming in at 28,888. Go ahead and put a level there. On the dot, 28,888, no change on the dot. But that is basically the next likely target for Bitcoin right now, guys. And if we come a little bit higher, we could potentially be coming up to retest these highs at about $31,000. But what happens if we push even higher? What if we get a breakout above these highs, guys? I would expect, right, what we could do is pull up our good old volume profile on this range from back here. You guys know we've been looking at these ranges. Last time we were up in this area, I'm going to go ahead and mark this as a previous value area high, mark this as a POC, and then I'm going to mark this as the previous value area low. And you can see, shout out to Hannah, said, had a good day trading, giving some of it to the Mafia. Let's go. Shout out to Hannah King. Bing bong. Hannah King sharing the gains with the Mafia. Let's go. That's why we love the Mafia, and that's why you guys are the best community on YouTube, guys. Shout out to Hannah. You're an absolute legend. Let's go. But let's see. Here we go. But yeah, kind of this is, remember 28.8K? Do you guys remember when I used to say that till I was blue in the face? 28.8K, 28.8K, 28.8K. That is the level that is going to now become our door to higher prices, guys. It is now going to become the door to higher prices because, again, we're just looking at things as volume profiles, guys. Let me get rid of these drawings. So, and I'm giddy right now because this is playing out, right? And I hope that the Mafia is seeing this and seeing the power of the volume profiles. Just like we hopped on here, held support, and expected to come to the range highs, which we are almost at, we can expect something very similar here. I'm going to mark this out really quickly. Let me right-click. Previous POC. Previous value area high. And I guess I'll label the previous value area low like this. But I'm actually going to change this to door to higher prices. It's a little too long for my taste, but whatever. This is the door to higher prices, 28.8K. Just like it was our door to higher prices right here. And what happened when we broke through this level, guys? We broke through this level. And we shot right up towards that POC because we hopped. If you go to a lower time frame, well, actually, we'd have to go pretty low time frame to see where we flip that level to support because we kind of just mooned right through it. But let's see if we can find it here. Come on. There we go. Yeah, I think we just mooned right through this level. But basically, we got above that value area low, right? Previous value area low. We'd expect to come to the POC. Where'd price go? Right to the POC. Where are we expecting price to go after it goes to the POC? To the value area high. Now, we did not get to the value area high to the dollar, but we got pretty dang close. Now, coming back up to the higher time frames, this is kind of what we can expect moving forward. Boom, right? This is what we could kind of expect moving forward. If we can get up to this value area high, I will be expecting some form of resistance. But if we get above the level and we can get back above it and hold it as support, I would expect the same thing. Once you could hold that value area low, I'd expect to get a move to the POC. And if you can get above that POC, I would expect to get a move back up to your value area high, which is coming in at about $31,256. So that would kind of be the next higher prices or the next top three targets that I would be looking for to the upside for Bitcoin as of right now. Let's see. 29K is a golden pocket. Yes, we'll take a look at that in a second. Crypto cookie. Let's see. Bearish div on the 15-minute. Wick 589 said, Frankie's bullish. Tell everybody. Tell everybody. I don't know. Am I bullish? Like, I want this thing to dump. I hope it dumps. I am at any moment in a pump hoping the thing just absolutely gets nuked to the floor. I get spiteful on pumps. I don't know why. It's exciting. It makes for good content. I have fun. I long it, right? I make money. But, and sure, my long-term bags are going up. But there's something about pumps that I just don't like. I like Bitcoin dumps more than I like Bitcoin pumps. I don't know why. But hey, when the charts are telling you the price go up, when the charts are telling you the price is probably going to go up, and you're holding support on a value area low, a macro value area low at that, you got to look for the higher prices, right? And oh God, man. I really hope there's a lot of people in this live stream that were here last night. Not so they could be like, oh my God, Frankie Candles was right. I don't want anyone thinking that. I want you to see the power in the volume profile. And that this isn't as complicated as a lot of people as a lot of people would make it seem, right? Now, although I do lean bearish emotionally, that doesn't stop us from making moves, longing down here, looking for the move once you hold this value area low to support and move back up to the high. It doesn't stop you from doing that. I just pray it comes back down, right? I just like the dumps. I make faster money on shorts for sure. But let's see. Creighton C. Oh, shout out to Creighton C. Thank you so much for that $20 super chat, bro. You're a savage. Said, Frankie, we need to get them likes up. How many bottles of bathwater can I put you and Mrs. Candles down for? Rob offered 20. Okay. Shout out. Dave suggests exotic pictures of your calves as a prize. Don't ask. Shout out to Creighton C. Thank you for that super chat, bro. I'm confused. Is it Rob's bathwater? Creighton, let me know. Don't super chat again. I appreciate the super chat. You don't have to super chat again. Let me know, though. Is it Rob's water? Or is it mine? And shout out to Creighton C. I'm going to let that one go. I'm going to leave that be. But let me know. I'm curious. Sign me up for 10 bottles. Anyway, continuing on. Shout out to Creighton C. This is the next higher prices I would expect for Bitcoin, right? Once we are decisively above this POC, next likely spot for price to go is definitely going to be the value area high. If we get resistance there, I will be looking for some potential scalp shorts. But again, money flow is coming up. So I am not looking for absolute nukes to the floor, right? Like, look what happened last time we came up. Let me see if I can find a better example. Let's see, like right here, right? Like, let's look at this as a volume profile, like a value area, your value area high, POC, value area low. You came up near that value area high, but money flow was coming out on the 8-hour, right? And many other time frames, right? If you look at the 4-hour, I think that's what we put the short setup based off of on the 4-hour. You had a bearish divergence, very close to the highs of your range, and you had money flow coming out, right? So that was kind of a no-brainer short up there. However, if we get back up to this value area high, money flow is coming up. So I would expect some kind of potential turbulence here, but I wouldn't be looking to short this all the way to the floor. I would be looking for it to short it down to put in a higher low, right? So if we come up here, get a rejection, I would look for it to come down, put in a higher low, and I will be looking for long positions to potentially continue the move to the upside. So definitely expecting resistance here, but again, I want to be very clear, not expecting a complete nuke to the floor. I would just expect, again, a small pullback, a lackluster pullback before putting in a higher low and then continuing up to higher prices. So that is basically what I would expect. And again, this previous POC, if we could break back into this value area between 28.8K and about 31,200, that would be the next major value area we would enter. And if we get up there and hold this level, it's going to be much more likely to come to the highs of the range. And then once we get up there, we can assess the situation and see if we can get above that value area high and then move up to some higher prices. And what happens if we break out of these levels and we wind up breaking the highs that we made back in April? Well, if we wind up getting that, I will be going ahead and looking up towards about $33,000. That is going to be about the next level I would be looking at. $33,000, you can see we have a wick down here. That's when you really start testing these lows from over here. And if we pull up our VPVR, just to pull up where the volume is, understand that we basically got big fall off in volume. You obviously have this resistance here. You definitely have resistance here. But in general, we are sticking to this massive high volume node here, this big high volume node. Price likes to stick to these high volume nodes. And if we keep pushing up, look how the volume kind of falls off here. It's not a massive gap, but let's zoom out a little bit actually. Zoom in a little bit. I just want to get this more exemplified. There we go. I don't think that's the right word I was looking for. But not a massive gap. You definitely have a bunch of little areas of resistance here. But it is definitely your next major high volume node does start really at about $35,000. About 35.3 is where that next high volume node really starts. And if we pull our fixed range volume profile right here on this little mini range, you can see here we can also take a look at these levels to kind of anticipate where that resistance might start to come in. So right here, our value area low is coming in at about 37.5. And that is likely going to give you some strong resistance. Now, I'm not saying we're getting to 37 tomorrow or the next day or the next day or the next week, but if we do get up there, just understand, right? Like, again, not the biggest, empty gap, but you do have a big fall off in volume here. So that could aid price in getting a move closer up into the mid 30s, right? 33 to 35K, 33 to 37 is kind of like 33, 35, 37 are kind of the levels that I'm looking at. And they're backed up by volume, right? It's not just some random levels. But we really, really, really got to get above this value area high at 31,200, 31,250. That's probably going to be our biggest level of resistance. And potentially, guys, let me get rid of these brushes. Potentially, and let me get rid of the volume profile. If we do wind up getting back into this value area, we could get a nice exciting pump back up to that value area high, and then just wind up ranging around in this value area for a little while before actually getting the big move to the upside. But, this level here, that value area high or previous value area high at 31,250 is going to be the next really, really big, important level of resistance we need to break if we want to see higher prices. And by higher prices, I mean higher than the highs we put in April, right? That's what everybody's hoping for. Can we break the highs that we've already made? Are we going to make another higher high? If we do, that previous value area high at $31,256 is going to be that big level of resistance we have to get past, right? So that's what I'm looking at, guys. Money flow coming up. This is basically exactly. I very rarely recommend this because typically our live streams are very time sensitive, right? Like you guys are watching this. We're looking at the current price action. Like this is only going to be helpful maybe tomorrow, but by the next day, even by tomorrow, all this information is going to be outdated. But I would highly recommend that you guys, if you are looking to learn how to see these moves happen before they actually do, like we do, I highly recommend you go back and watch the live stream from last night because we talk about, maybe even the last couple of live streams, just scrub through the Bitcoin TA section and just look at what we were expecting, and you'll see us back in time when we were all the way down here, right? When we were all the way down here, seeing money flow starting to curve up here, seeing that we might be seeing that we may potentially start changing trends here, and what we would look for higher prices. Even here, we were saying, hey, if we continue up, we could potentially bearishly retest that value area low again, and if we do, and we get back above it and hold it as support, we may have to start looking for higher prices upwards towards the POC at about 27.9 or potentially up towards the value area high closer to 29K. We've been talking about it for a while, and we've been talking about exactly what we wanted to see, and we literally saw that exact thing happen. So if you guys are looking to learn, I highly, highly recommend you guys go back and watch those live streams because you'll see kind of naturally how I do the TA and what we actually look for to anticipate these moves to the upside, or what we need, or you'll see what we were looking for and what we wanted to see to get this stuff to happen. That way, next time it happens, you can see it coming. And imagine if you could know or that there's a high probability that if you come up here and hold this as support, I know there's a high probability of us coming back up to the high of the range. Could be a profitable skill to learn. Just saying. Shout out to the CandleMafia. Let's see. Lick the like button for Jess. Shout out to Jess. Yeah, Jess, hopefully you're feeling better. Hopefully Creighton C's making you laugh. Hopefully Dave Digital's making you laugh. Again, I don't really know what you guys are talking about. Something about bathwater. I don't really know. But shout out to you guys. Thank you for making Jessica feel better. She deserves it. But guys, that is what I'm looking at for Bitcoin. Approaching more resistance here at the value area high, but simply it is a game of volume profiles, guys. You hold the low, you come to the high. When we get to the high, you look for resistance, maybe some scalp shorts. Again, I would look for a lackluster move down before putting in a higher low and continuing to the upside. But it doesn't mean that you can't catch that scalp short, even if it's from here to the POC, right? That's a 3.29% move. That's a nice little scalp, right? Nice little day trade, if you will, right? maybe you come up here. Maybe you come up here. Let's go to a lower time frame so it's manageable. Maybe we kind of come down here, and then you come back up. You test that door to higher prices, put a higher high in on your price, and then you put a lower high in your momentum waves. Maybe you put a bearish divergence in, and then you cool off a little bit, and everyone's going to be saying, hey, I told you bulls were going to get wrecked, you idiots, oh my God. But you know that because the money flow is coming up on the higher time frames, that you're likely to continue the trend to the upside. So you would just be looking for the scalp to the POC and looking to potentially get into a new long position from here. And if you're managing your risk correctly and taking partial profits and moving your stop loss to your entry point, once you get here, you can pay yourself, leave part of your trade open, leave part of your capital in the trade, and then if you wind up getting a breakdown back to the value area low, you can absolutely cash in. Stick the microphone in my mouth. You could totally cash in and turn that little scalp trade into an absolute grand slam, which we did multiple times on this move to the downside by doing that exact thing. Shorting the lower high, shorting the lower highs, riding them down, only expecting them to be little scalp trades, but leaving a portion of the trade in for a bigger move to the downside, turning these little scalps into absolute home run trades. So that's how we're attacking the markets, guys. That's what we're expecting. Things are going right according to schedule, to what we were looking at yesterday and last week on the live streams. We're finally seeing it. Weekly green dot, absolutely big. We got to make sure it confirms, but it is printing, so definitely a good sign. And then again, that 6-day money flow with that green dot on that trigger wave is looking pretty good. We do just need to make sure that these things are going to confirm. Shout out to Rob the Crypto Snob. Frankie Time, 6:35. Thank you for that, Rob. I'm going to go ahead and set an alarm. Wake me up at 6:45. She didn't talk back to me. Unbelievable. Anyway, now I thank you for that, Rob. That was a thank God you did that. Shout out to Rob the Crypto Snob. The Godfather's in the house. He's the Godfather of candles. Haha. And the Godfather is just the Godfather. Guys, show the Godfather some love in the chat. Let's go. Dora Escobar says, smash that like button. Let's go. Let's go. Cowboy emoji. Taco. Shout out to Taco from NFT Alpha. Let's go. Let's see. Death Burka says, bullish. Let's go. And Art NFTs. What's up, and Art? What's going on, man? Good to see you. Gen Z, Frankie TA Expert, Bulls, let's go, baby. Shout out to everybody who saw this stuff alongside us. Definitely a really good sign here, but just don't let the emotional people get in your head, guys. We are not going to 100K tomorrow. I know, like, everyone is like, you still have to keep an open mind. All this stuff is bullish, right? But you just want to remember, you could feel bullish. Get excited. This is fun. Bitcoin's coming up. We're getting a lot of big macro time frames showing some really bullish signals. But you just have to be open, right? It's not confirmed yet. Like, it could confirm, right? It's still bullish. But like, don't get overly fanatical, right? Like, don't get super emotional and let the emotions blind your logic, right? Let's see. Wick says, money, Frankie. The channel is money. This channel? Are you saying this channel's money? Shout out to Wick. Let's see. 50K tomorrow then. Shout out to Jonathan Schaefer. And guys, I will say, let's see. Darren says, what about the emotional people that got wrecked? Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. That's why you don't want to do that, right? All the bears, right? I want to remind you guys, when we got this move down, all the bears came back in, right? Like, some people came in the chat and they were like, and they're not hating on us, right? Like, they're just like, people come in and they go, see, I told you, 3K incoming, haha. And it's like this haha got you moment. And it's like, what? Like, dude, it's coming down a little bit. Like, it doesn't mean we're going to zero. And you're just going to go ahead. You're going to get that constantly, right? Especially in crypto. Crypto's a space where somebody finds out about crypto and they're in it for 2 weeks and they think they're an expert. And those are the people that are saying that, right? Like, told you, like, on every little dump they get super bearish. And same thing with the bulls. It's the same thing with the bulls. I'm not picking sides here. I am agnostic. I am as bullish as I am bearish. I am a trader. I don't care if it's going up or down. I just need the price to move and I can make money. Sure, my long term, like the dumps and the pumps, big pumps and big dumps really only mean something for my long-term bags, but I make money whether the price is going up or down, and the Mafia does as well. So I don't care if it goes up or down in the short term. I hope it goes up long-term, but in the short term, I don't care. So like this big pump, I'm like, okay, nice, right? In the long term, this is good. I give you guys the long-term analysis, but I don't care if this comes back down here tomorrow. If this comes back down to 21K tomorrow, I don't care, right? I would just want to catch the short, right? But even on this pump, all the bulls are saying, like, see, we're never going to see 20K again. And it's like, dude, like yesterday, sometimes it's the same people, right? Like someone will come up to you and be like, see, I told you the Bears were going to get wrecked. And it's like, last week, weren't you telling me that you were laughing at the Bulls getting wrecked? Like it kind of feels like you just root for whatever way it's going. And it's like, there's really no logic base behind it. But just be cautious of those people. It goes both ways. The Bears were saying this was the end of Bitcoin. We're going to 3K. And now the Bulls are calling for 100K. All I see is candles moving this way and candles moving that way, and all I need is the movement to make some money. That's why we're traders, guys. You get to make money. You get to make money whether the price is going up or down. Thank you for that, Tony. Shout out to Tony D for the super chat. Says, the winner of our Instagram giveaway is Gorman5402. Congratulations. I will reach out to you in the DMs, and Frankie will reply to your comment. Let's go. Shout out to Gorman. Congratulations, bro. You won $100. Free money, baby, and we're giving it to you in the form of Cardano. And speaking of Cardano, guys, we do got to wrap this up real quick, so I want to take a look at XRP. Maybe Cardano. I don't know if we're going to have time, but I want to take a look at XRP really, really quickly. Real quick look on Ethereum. I'm going to have to fly through this, guys, because I got to get to this Twitter space. But Ethereum, let's see. Where's our actual Ethereum chart? What is going on here? This is hideous. Okay, that's Bitcoin. Let's see. Here we go. Oh, my God, guys. Can somebody go back to the live stream from yesterday and see what we said about ETH? I don't remember exactly what we were saying. No, I think I do remember. We labeled the value area low key. Why did we label the value area low key? Because we knew once we got above this, and I'll be honest with you guys, I talk about so many charts. I talk about so many coins. I'm pretty sure this is what we were talking about. I encourage someone to go fact check me because I don't want to say that this is what we were talking about if we weren't, but I'm almost positive, just based off of the way we do our TA or the way I do my TA, we were calling this key. I mean, I know why we were calling it key, but what we were looking for here was to come up, hold this level as support for a potential move back up to our next level of resistance, which is right here at about 1818. That is the point of control of our range. Yes, this is what we were talking about. I remember. Looking for, right, once you hold support on the value area low, where's the next likely place for Bitcoin to go? Well, it's probably going to go to that point of control just based off the way the volume profiles work. And here we are. We are starting to get that move. And if we come down to lower time frames, I believe we were looking at this kind of local volume profile to try to find a long entry. I think we were talking about like, hey, if you were looking for a potential long entry, how would you find that? Well, you want to go ahead. Oh, let me unextend this really quickly. How would you be able to find that? How would you be able to find that long entry? Well, what you could do is you could look at a lower time frame, find your sideways range, and just look for a scalp from that value area low to the value area high, and then if price takes off, you could turn it into a grand slam trade. I don't know if you got a setup here. I'm looking at this live with you right now, but I can see and look at that, guys. Now, again, I do want to point out here that money flow was not necessarily giving you the biggest confluence, but you put that lower low in right to your value area low with your momentum waves kind of coming up. Let me, I'm going to have to zoom in and dissect this real quick. Yes, you did get the bullish divergence here. You did get the bullish divergence with your higher low on your momentum waves and lower lows on your price action into your key level of resistance. But the one thing I would say here, guys, again, I don't know if I would be so giddy to take that trade just because money flow is not really in agreement with you. This does seem a bit manipulated, to be honest. A lot of VWAP flips, red dots turning immediately into green dots. Could be manipulation, in my opinion. It kind of does look like that. It's just no chill whatsoever. However, you did get that bullish divergence on your 15-minute. You might have gotten one on your lower time frames, potentially. Oh, there you go. This 24, look at this 24-minute bull div. This was probably your signal because you had money flow coming up. Your money flow was confirming this trade on the 24-minute, right? And you're simply just looking, oh, I'm at the low of the range. Do I have a bullish signal? bullish divergence, money flow coming up. Cool. Let me try to long this to the value area high. Looking for a simple, small move of about 1.15%. Very similar to the Bitcoin little scalp that we got, right? But what happens if you take profit here? You can lock in profits, and then it would have turned into an absolute grand slam trade. And that's how we do it, guys. These opportunities present themselves almost every day. It's not every day, but I mean, on any time frame, you can go down to a super low time frame, and you could always find an opportunity. And they're just always going to present themselves. But the trick is, during the live price action, having the cojones to actually trust your TA and just hold on for that trade to play out. But beautiful, beautiful moves by Ethereum. And basically, again, just based off the volume profile, exactly what we were looking for and hoping for, right, for higher prices. All right, let's go ahead and take a quick shout out to Deathburger, said, I already closed my ETH trade at 126% profit. Thank you, Siri. I'm going to snooze that real quick. But it looks like it's still ripping. Deathburger, take it as a win. You won. You did not lose. I know it feels like you lost out on money, but you did not. You made money. You won. That was a winning trade. 126% on a trade is very, 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 very good. So I know it feels like you lost. I personally used to struggle with this a lot. Missing out on gains is not a loss. It is a massive win, because as long as you made money, that is all that matters. You are always going to miss out on extra gains. And if you start to think like that and you see missing out on extra gains as a negative experience, you're going to develop bad habits. You're going to develop habits that make you hold on to trades for too long, and you're going to wind up losing money. So Deathburger, if I could say one thing, I would say congratulations, number one. And number two, take this in as a positive experience. You made 126% profit. That is nothing but good. It doesn't matter if it ripped afterwards. That is nothing but good. You should shoot for that consistently. Don't hold on to your next trade longer just because you missed out on extra gains here, because that's not necessarily going to be the case on the next trade. And you can never predict that. So just take the 126%. Pay yourself. If you don't pay yourself when you're in the green, you will find yourself in the red very, very quickly. Shout out to Deathburger. Great job, bro. Nice trade. Nice trade. All right, let's take a quick look at XRP, and then I gotta scoot I gotta scoot out of here pretty quickly, guys. But let's go ahead and pull up XRP. Let me find our actual chart that we want to look at. No, it's not this one. Let's see. I think it's this one. And here we are. Okay, so let's see. What were we looking at on XRP, right? Came up, tested the previous value area low, came back down, and now we're just coming up to test that value area again. Really what we need to see, ooh, nice little trigger wave. Nice little trigger wave on your 4-hour. I cannot unsee the money flow coming out, though. That looks kind of bearish to me in my own personal opinion. Not financial advice. But let me see. Yeah, money flow just consistently coming out, but you do have a nice trigger wave with a nice green dot printing here. What you want to see for, I got to go through this really quick, guys. I apologize. But what you really want to see here for XRP is just like the volume profiles we looked at on Bitcoin and ETH, you want to flip this value area low to support. If you can get above here, flip it to support. That is where you're expecting to move up to your POC, coming in at about 51 cents. And if you can get above that level, value area high coming in at about 53 cents, and that is what you would be looking for. And then, obviously, once you break out of here, which, again, I don't know when that would happen. I wouldn't expect it tonight. But if you did break out of here, there is somewhat of a volume gap between here and this door to the moon, which is at about 60 cents. I would expect resistance here. But then once you get to this door to the moon, this is just another previous value area low, just a macro value area low. And then once you flip that to support, you may be on your way closer to about 73, 74 cents. But you got to get above this previous value area low that we're fighting right now. So your main goal right now is to get above that level here at about 49 cents. If you could hold that to as support, it does open up the door for the possibility to come up to about 53 cents. And with all that being said, guys, that is what I would be looking at on Bitcoin, on XRP, and Ethereum, or Erythrium, as your grandmother might call it. And with all that being said, guys, that's all the time I got for tonight's live stream. Sorry, we are definitely ending way early tonight, but I have a Twitter space to be on with Garrett Soloway and Tom Crown, and I think there's going to be some other people on there as well. I'm just not 100% sure who. Tony D, if you could drop that link one more time. If you guys want to go head over there, I'm going to go get ready for that right now. Shout out to Bubba's Crypto, said, listen to Frankie, take profits. Sorry I've been away. Busy working, but always lurking. Shout out to the Candle Mafia. Shout out to Bubba's Crypto. Bubba's, we miss you, but we understand everybody's got busy lives, and we're just happy. Anytime you pop in, we're happy to see you, man. Thank you for being here, and yeah, shout out to you. Thank you for the super chat, man. And with all that being said, guys, that's all the time I got for today's update. I apologize for the short stream, but if you guys want some more content, go ahead over to this Twitter Spaces. It's going to be a good time, and with all that being said, guys, I will see you tomorrow, same place, same time. Watch those key levels, and pray Bitcoin keeps pumping or dumping. I don't really care what happens, but we'll see. You guys know the key levels. Watch them. I'll see you tomorrow. Same place, same time. 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right after ATB. Shout out to my boy, DZ. Or some people call him Mrs. Candles. But anyway, shout out to my boy, DZ. I'll see you guys tomorrow. That's all I got. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong. Hold up, guys. We're at like 460-something likes. If we run it up to 550 before the music ends on the stream, I'll spin the wheel. I'll add 20 spins to the wheel tomorrow. I forgot to say, we're not spinning the wheel tonight. I don't have time. I got to get to this space. But we will spin these. We will add these spins tomorrow. So we get 550 by the end of this stream. I'll spin the wheel tomorrow. I'll add 20 spins to tomorrow's wheel. And if we don't, we'll just add 5 or whatever we have at that time. But yeah, guys, smash that like button on your way out. I appreciate every single one of you guys. You guys are the absolute best. And I'll see you guys tomorrow, same place, same time, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Shout out to the Aztecian Cactus Moss Water. This is actually my second one. I'm not going to drink this whole thing. Hasta Pasta Mafia. See you guys later. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong.
Tyler Ramos. Tyler Ramos.